were kids, my dad lived in this super exclusive gated community called prison. And I really don't want me to be like just a total brat, but my dad went to private prison. Yeah, he did. My dad went to private.
That is comedian and cartoonist Mo Welch bringing the laughs in her new comedy special, Dad Jokes. And in the special, Mo reunites with her father for the first time in nearly 20 years. And she is here to tell us more about her special. So good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
And I love that you're able to make jokes out of what could be very serious and difficult situation.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that usually makes for the best jokes. You go like, you know, I do this exercise where I'm like, what is the thing that I would not want anybody to know, like a secret, and then I turn that into a joke, and then it somehow becomes funny.
Yes, and this special that you're doing is part documentary, part stand-up.
Right, yeah, half of it is doc, half is stand-up, and there's a beginning, middle, and end to the documentary, and I go start here in LA, and then I go to Central Illinois to the cornfields, and I reunite with my dad for the first time in 20 years.
Wow, do you ever feel like, maybe I shouldn't have revealed this much? Do you ever like have second thoughts?
Absolutely,
okay.
Yeah. There's this like vulnerability hangover that you can have as a stand-up where you just wake up, you're like, I've never even told my closest friends that.
Yeah.
And I just told an entire theater of people something extremely vulnerable.
Yeah, yeah. And we were talking during the commercial break, because I often ask comedians, do you have to change your jokes for different regions of the country? But when you have a special like this, it goes to everybody.
Right. And you know what? A lot of people who have watched it, you know, they were telling me that like it looks like all of the Midwest. So a lot of people say that looks just like when I was younger, and like they'll be able to relate to it. But yeah, I don't change the jokes there because it's a real story.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But do you feel like, do you ever worry like, I hope the people in LA or in New York are gonna get this Midwest joke?
Right, yeah, I mean, definitely. When we were talking, like, you know, in LA, I'm gonna like talk about, I have a joke that I mentioned Larchmont Village, but then when you're going to Milwaukee, they're gonna be like, what is that? What is that place? That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Is it warm? You know?
Exactly, so you're always changing it.
Right, yeah.
Yes. And do you ever think like, you know, this is just too much,
Yeah, I mean, all the time. I'm like trying to quit comedy like every year of my life. Like,
really?
Yeah, it always feels like, I always get to a point in the year where I'm like, you know what, I think I'm done with this career. I'm gonna try something else. And then, you know, unfortunately I'm too old to be in the WNBA now. So I have to stick with it.
But I would imagine like everyday life, you're thinking like, oh, this could be a good joke. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, you're married, you have a child. There's so much that happens, I'm sure, in a house where you're like, oh, I got to include this.
It's very embarrassing. On my phone, I have like, you know, hundreds of videos of me just in the car videotaping myself. Like, this could be a joke. And it's just like all of these files where I'm just like trying to figure out if something is a joke. And then I have to go through all of them, which is hard. That is painful to go through all those jokes and try to write them.
Yeah. So this Friday, everyone can see the special on Hulu.
Yes,
yes. And how are you feeling about everyone seeing all of this now?
I mean, this is a very intimate piece. Like, it was really hard to make. And so I do want as many people to see it as possible. But at the same time, like, it is really hard. And like, when you see it, you'll see like, oh yeah, that was very, like, there's a part at the end where people will tell me I was feeling it, like that tension in my stomach. I just like was feeling for you in that moment. When you feel that, I was feeling the exact same thing in that moment. But you have to see it to know what I'm talking about.
We have to see it, and we can all see it on Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. We certainly appreciate it. Again, Mo Welch, Dad Jokes, will be streaming starting this Friday on Hulu, and you can find more information by just going to our website, kcalnews.com, and click Seen on TV.